Good morning. So at some point we will have this sorted out.
Yes. I was just noticing how tiny the coffee pot is in our intro, and I was like, neither one of us thinks that's enough coffee.
No, I got to leave in like 3 minutes. Glug.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love it. All right. It's been an exciting week-ish. All right.
Well,
So
you learned some stuff this week.
I did. And that's one of the great things about this journey, right? Is that we learn stuff and then we're here to tell you, hey, don't do this stuff that we did. Because I've done a lot of dumb stuff in this journey.
I think that it's not a journey if you don't have a few side steps and get lost and all the rest of it. So
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They do always say it's the journey, not the destination, right? So
exactly.
yeah, so as we were talking about last week, I was running some solo ads because I have 3 key offers. One that I talk about, which is of course PBAA. I love what Brian brings to the table. I love what the team brings to the table. That's my go-to. If anybody messages me and is like, I need help, I'm like, cool, you need to join us.
Same.
But I've got 2 other programs that are a little more like, okay, you're beginner and maybe you have capital and you don't want to show your face, or maybe you're just trying to make it work without DM life, which, yeah. So I've been testing these 2 other programs, and they're both good programs. They both get good opt-in rates. But I was noticing that if I was sending traffic to the direct affiliate link and not collecting the emails, it did really well. And if I sent it to my landing page, I collected the emails, but nothing else was happening. And I was like, this is weird, because my solo ad guy that I have now is freaking on top of it. He's fantastic. And I was getting signups in the email, and I'm like, how am I getting signups? But my dashboard that shows where your affiliate link, how many clicks you've gotten, referrals, etc., that's not going up, and that doesn't make sense. And so I went through my funnel and discovered that there's a little button that I did not change the link from. So instead of redirecting to my sales page where I would get credit for the sale, it was just going to the program creators sales page. So I don't know how much money I've been making him by paying for solo ads to go to his link, but that stops now.
That's where we say thank you. Yeah.
So I don't, but I was like, that is such a me thing, because I have such a habit of getting distracted in trainings, or like if a training sounds similar to something I've already done, I'm like, yep, I've done it. And I'll just kind of pass. And I'm sure that's exactly what happened, is like he's talking about how to personalize your funnel. I was like, yeah, I know how to do all this. And I just skipped right over it. So
yeah, I do that too. I have to remind myself, go back and, like, don't be reading and doing another course at the same time, or, cleaning or whatever it is that I'm, oh yeah, I've heard this, so I'll just do this while I'm listening. But,
yeah. Yep.
I can multitask to a certain point, but
yeah. And I'm sure that's what happens. I went through and of course I thought of it late at night, right? So I go in and I changed it at like midnight. And then I went back to bed and was like, I still don't think I put the right link in, because like I was testing it and I was like, why do I have to put my email twice? And then I figured out that there is an actual sales, because not every program comes with like the sales page link, right? Some of them
right.
it's just the opt-in. So I screwed up and had my opt-in page going to another opt-in page, but I found the sales page, so I got it. It's right now.
A little more testing. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will be sending more solo ads to that, because like I said, it's a good offer and it does convert pretty good. And it's there's 2 tiers to it, so they can either pay full price or they can pay a monthly. And of course, if they pay a monthly, then I get recurring monthly income, which is fantastic,
which is
right?
always nice. Yeah. Recurring as well. Yeah, because that gives you something that you can plan on.
Yep. So spent a little more solo ads than I necessarily wanted to, but you live and learn. And the guy who was doing my solo ads too, I told him, I was like, God, I feel so stupid. And he's like, I don't feel stupid. At least you got it. And I was like, yeah, that's true.
We're paying attention enough to actually catch it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people set it and forget it. So.
Well, and that's where I struggle somewhat, is like I have 2 degrees. I either go really, really, really hardcore into something and will like sit there and refresh the dashboard like 30 times a day, or I'll go, I don't want to obsess over this, and I won't look at it at all.
Actually, no, I'm one of those people. Is like, we'll refresh, and then I have to tell myself, just, you know what, knock it off. It will come when it comes. Go in and check it at least, maybe once a day or once every other day, just to make sure and see what's going down. Because, yeah, I can get a little obsessive as well. And then, you can spiral in all sorts of directions if you get too obsessive about things like, why is this not working? It's important to know your numbers. It's important to keep track, but at the same time, don't make yourself crazy. So,
Yeah. Well, I honestly, I kind of needed that to have been broken, because I was definitely going down. I mean, we all do it, down that road of like, oh my God, this still isn't working. Why am I doing this? Why am I even still trying? Like, I was kind of going down that path. Then when that happened, I was like, oh, well, like, if you don't set up your systems right, you can't expect your systems to make you money.
fair. Yeah. And I mean, I'm glad you brought that up about, going down that road of why am I even doing this? Because I don't think that there's a marketer alive that doesn't get in that space at least once in a while. And I think it happens to, the people who are the top, and obviously all are the new people, because you are putting in the work, you're doing the things, and, it'll get to a point where you're just like, it doesn't seem to be hitting traction, and that's like you did. It's an opportunity to go and take a look at what am I doing? Where do I need to make some adjustments? Did I make a mistake somewhere? Yeah. And also just reach out to people and say, you know what? I'm freaking stressed, man. What is going on here? Because yeah, it's easy to get discouraged if you're not seeing what you expect to be seeing. Right. So,
Yeah.
but check your stuff, because maybe it is
Yeah.
going the way it's supposed to. It's just not linked up right. Yeah,
Yeah,
no, that's happened to
exactly.
me. That's happened to me. I actually setting up a funnel just for a book, an ebook that I did on overcoming obstacles. Because when I first started, that was a big one for me, overcoming obstacles, knowing where to find information and all that sort of stuff. So I just created an ebook because I knew I couldn't be the only one, right? So, share your knowledge. And it's not the kind of knowledge that people should have to pay for. So I figured, I'll just create an ebook and put that out. And everything looked right. And I went through and I checked my funnels and I made sure that everything was bouncing where I wanted it to go. And yeah, it looked good. I didn't test my email properly. And so it didn't go out. And what had actually happened was I hadn't verified my email. And so it was looking like everything was right, but nothing was going because I hadn't actually verified my email. And so therefore it was like, no, we're not sending this. We don't know who you are. We're not going to ship this stuff out to anybody. And I'm just like, why isn't it working? Everything's right. I'm checking my buttons and I'm checking all my links and everything looks right. And, and I tested it and it came to me. So I thought, okay, it's all good. But no, it wasn't good. So when you create a funnel, my suggestion is sign up under a different email. Don't just test it within the system, but actually go and send the link to yourself, sign up as somebody else or under one of your alternative emails, because I don't know too many people that only have a single email. And yeah, test it that way to make sure that you're getting what you're getting and that it looks the way it's supposed to look, because things can change as you're going through. So that was, yeah, because I was super frustrated because I'm like, what? I'm doing everything right. Technologically, I'm actually pretty okay. I mean, I've been on the internet since it was called the BBS, the bulletin board system. You put the phone in the cradle and it makes a terrible, terrible noise and all that thing that you see in
Yep.
really old movies. That was my internet. That was my beginning of the quote unquote internet. And so learning new programs, learning new technology has never been a struggle for me. I'm always excited to see what's going on and everything else. So I'm like, I'm not stupid, but of course there's a little voice in the back of my head going, you're an idiot, stupid, something's wrong.
Well, the other benefit of doing that is you see if your emails are going to the spam folder or the promotions folder in Gmail, or you get to see where it's actually going, because like I had a problem where mine were going to spam. And so I, was sending it to everybody, like testing it with everybody's email that I knew. I was like, hey, just do me a favor, just mark it as not spam and just open a few of them, and then you can unsubscribe. I don't care. But there's a lot of spam out there. So there's a lot of regulations in the US and whatnot with emails and whatnot of what is considered spam and all that kind of stuff. And so even if it passes the spam checker within your autoresponder, your email might not pass the spam checker, or if you don't have a domain, it might not pass the spam checker. So there's a lot of other factors that I don't think people realize how detrimental it is if you screw up your email in the beginning
Yeah.
to your long-term success.
Yeah. So it's always good to test it. And I mean, there are ones like I got my domain and my email for like $1 a month, right?
Nice.
There's no hosting on it. It's just a domain name. And that's the one thing I will say is that I've had no problems as far as it getting filtered into spam, which is awesome. That's worked out well for me. So I appreciate that. But I have a website. I'll probably find it after this, where it gives you sort of a breakdown of what will get your emails shunted into spam or flagged as spam. So I can put that up later for everybody, just so that they can take a look if they're going to be doing emails, to see if what they're typing in there is automatically getting boosted into the spam, right?
Nice.
Yeah,
there's so much more that goes into email marketing. There's copywriting, there's proper subject lines that will actually grab attention versus just get it straight deleted. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, and that's why I think the programs that really push starting an email list right from the get-go are so negatively detrimental for beginner marketers, because there's just so much more that goes into it that you don't realize. And if you're trying to start a new social media platform and do content creation and all that kind of stuff, the last thing you want to be worried about is also learning copywriting and also learning all these other things. So
yeah,
it's
and
one of those things that I would definitely say take your time. Don't,
yeah,
you can collect emails without having an autoresponder. Like, don't even worry about that. But
absolutely. And collecting your emails and building that list without sending to that list is not a negative thing. It's because those are going to be your future clients, and it's also, I mean, when you first start out, you don't necessarily know what a hook is, and a hook that's going to go viral on a video platform or on Facebook as a post is not necessarily going to be the same thing that's going to be a good hook in email, right? It's just, I get tons of emails. I get probably, I would say, somewhere between 200 and 300 emails a day, because I do sign up for things and I do check to see what everybody's doing, so that, I'm constantly filtering and cleaning and all that sort of stuff. And I literally will scan through and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And so then I keep that in my head. Like, why did I click on that one when I've got 50 other ones sitting here? What actually caused me to look at that particular one? And, those are the kinds of things that you can do when you're first starting out and looking to eventually move over to email marketing.
For sure.
Yeah. So how are you feeling? Because I know this week has been a hell of a week for you.
I am feeling good. Headache is all finally gone. Basically, when I got to my chiropractor, what he told me was my top 3 vertebra were doing this number.
Oh, your joints?
Top 3 spine vertebra, yeah. So that's what was causing the headache.
That's fair. I actually, I've got what they call cervical spondylosis, which is basically arthritis of the neck. And I also have a disc. I have a disc that slides out, and it was bursting, and it was this happened when I was like 40, and I spent a lot of time like this because it was the only way to relieve the pain because of the nerve pain. And I was going to bed at I get off work and I literally feed my kids and go to bed. I'm so glad you're teenagers, because mama's going to go die now. But well, I'm glad they got it sorted out, because chronic pain, especially near your head, man, you need your head, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the nausea on top of it was what was really, I can deal with headache and I can deal with nausea, but the two of them together, I was just, and every time I moved too fast, my vision went black. So I was like, I really shouldn't be driving anywhere.
Something's definitely not right. Yeah, no. Well, I'm glad that you got it sorted out, and I'm glad that you're feeling better, because that sucks. That sucks a lot. Nobody enjoys that.
No, and it was one of those things I couldn't even look at the computer, so it was bad. But also the same day I got a notification that I had $100 commission as well. So that's why we started this business, right? So that we can
Exactly.
have bad days and we can stay home and still make money. So like it kind of worked out. And I'm like, again, I'm one of those people that will absolutely overdo it because I don't understand balance real well. And my dad's told me since I was probably 10, yeah, if I don't decide when to rest, my body's just gonna decide for me. And he's right. He's always right.
It's very true. I used to work myself because with the publishing and the kids and whatnot. When um, I was working full time, and then I had 3 kids. So I was a single parent, and I was just starting out my publishing business. And so I was doing magazines, and I was doing conventions, and I was also writing. During that time, I'd get like maybe 3 hours of sleep, 4 if I was lucky, every night. And I would go like that nonstop. And then like but once every 6 months, I'd be like, I get home from work and I'm like, oh, I think I need to lay down for a nap. And then that would be it for me for the next 20 hours. Wake up
Yep.
and like, what century is this?
Yep. Been there.
And then do it again for another 6 months. I'm not as resilient as I was.
Well, I laugh because I'm like, man, I thought when I left like the corporate warehouse world that like I'd gotten over this. Clearly not. But it is
No.
different when it's like I'm grinding for me versus grinding for someone else too.
Well, because it gives you a lot more energy, right? I don't know about you, but like I can spend hours working on my thing. I can spend like hunched over my computer doing design work or, coming up with stuff or getting knowledge or whatever it is that I need to do. I can spend hours and hours and hours and hours doing that and not even realize time has passed. But,
Hmm.
at the company, you're like looking at the clock, looking at the clock. Is it time to leave here yet?
Yep.
But yeah, no, I mean, we all make mistakes. I've done lots of little mistakes too along the way. When you first start out and they tell you reach out to as many people as you can. And so you're basically cold calling people in their messenger. And I mean, even when I was first started doing it, I was like, this feels really wrong because I hate it when people do it to me. But that's what you're taught. So that's what you start doing. And then you realize pretty quickly that no, that's not going to get you where you need to go. Because nobody likes that. But they're natural mistakes, they happen, right?
Yeah.
Or you don't know that you can personalize your links very simply, even if you don't have a website, by going to Bitly. So you're sending this great big long link, and people know right away. It's like, no, and people are still going to know it's an affiliate link, but if you have the ability to do the little tiny things like shorten your link and make it more personal, have a conversation with someone, don't make everything on your page about selling, and offering value is important, but also know where your value line is, right?
Yeah.
You're offering value. You want people to have engagement. You want to be able to talk to people. But if you're all one thing or all another thing, people tune out because that's just what they do. But these are all little natural mistakes that happen at the beginning. Even something as simple as your profile, right? I see tons. I can always tell when somebody's really brand new because their profile does not match what they're trying to sell me. Like their cover says nothing about it. Their little piece of information on the side or their Instagram information or whatever it is has zero to do with who they are. Their profile is friends only. If you're going to do
Yeah.
marketing, you can't go friends only. It's just not possible. And if you're really concerned about people knowing in your social circle what you're doing, then you're going to have to look at setting up a page or setting up another profile. It's just going to have to be that way. Now, it's not necessary. I mean, because we all start, I think you'd said too that you were uncomfortable with sharing this on your regular profile at the beginning, right?
Yeah. Well, and part of that's because like we teach the same thing to our realtors as like we teach affiliate marketers essentially of like don't be a two-dimensional realtor. Like none of the photos, nothing like that. Like talk about real estate, but also personalize it. And so that's why like I don't have a you know page for my real estate business because I'm like, I am my business. It's one of my favorite things that Jay-Z ever said. He said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. And like I love that distinction.
I like
And
that.
yeah. And that's why whenever someone's like, oh, all you talk about is business. I'm like, yeah, because I am a business. Like this is the business.
Yeah. And that's fair, right? I mean, when I first started at this profile, I ended up connecting with it was with a lot of people who knew me growing up, right? I grew up in a very small town, so it's really easy to know everybody. I mean, literally like 800 people. So, and isolated way up north. So it's, you know everybody, right? And so as soon as they saw me, they were like, oh yeah, okay. And we're all connected and stuff like that. And then when I started moving it over towards marketing, again, I was sort of hither, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but I didn't really. And I started to add a few other marketing people, but again, I didn't really do much. So when I took it back over and started doing this, I thought, oh, well, do I really want all these people seeing what I'm doing? And then I realized what I'm doing makes sense. And so, it's not for everybody. And if they don't want to see it, they can easily unfriend me. So that's fine.
Or
I won't be,
unfollow.
yeah, or unfollow. Yeah, I won't be hurt, because I know that this is not, what I am and what I'm doing is not necessarily for everybody. But then again, some of those people might be looking at what I'm doing and go, huh, that's curious. What is that? They see it enough and they might ask some questions and maybe I can help somebody. It's the nice thing about online marketing is it doesn't matter if you live in an isolated community way the hell up north. It doesn't matter if you live in a city. It doesn't matter where you live because the internet is worldwide. There are no borders here. There are no boundaries here, especially if what you're selling is education or digital products. And even if you're selling POD, right? It doesn't matter because they don't care if you've got roads in and out of your community, right?
Yeah. I love
Right?
that.
You can make money just the same as the person sitting in a high rise. So
Yep. Yeah, I was just nervous about mixing the real estate with the marketing, but then I realized that like most of real estate is marketing. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna make the transition. And like, I've had people reach out and they're like, "Hey, are you still a realtor?" Because I haven't had a lot of real estate stuff on my page, and part of that is because again, I never set it up as a business page. So a lot of like the business page tools I can't use, and so some of the auto posting kind of stuff like I can't use because I don't have that separate page. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't care. And I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I'm still a realtor. Like, I've got a listing coming up, you'll see it. But, the real estate market is cyclical, and most realtors are more than just realtors because they have to be because the market slows between October and February anyway. But, in these particular times, we never know what the hell the market's going to do because we don't know what the government's doing. So I was
every
like, this
day's
is
an
just
adventure.
right. Like this is just a really easy way to earn some extra money, but also still be able to go out and on a whim and show houses to my clients or go on an impromptu listing presentation or whatever I might need to do. So that was kind of my hang up for a little bit, but yeah, I got over that very quickly. It was just like, all right, screw it. And I think the right kind of person can make the Facebook friending and the outreach work. I just think you have to have a certain mentality that I don't have because I don't my whole thing about building independence and time freedom is that I don't want to be stuck to the computer all the time. Like I'm a life insurance provider as well, but the problem with that is that means Zoom calls all day long. It means I'm stuck to my computer. I don't want to be chained to a desk. Like it's not my theme. And so, does the DM strategy work? Absolutely. There's plenty of evidence behind it working. That doesn't mean I want to do it. That doesn't mean I'm gonna do it. And that's the thing is like we tell people like you got to put in the work, but I think to some degree you also have to choose which work you want to put your energy into. And if you know it's not energy that you're going to enjoy and it's going to burn you out and you're going to hate it, then it's okay to tell your mentor or whoever like, no, I don't want to do that. Help me find another way.
Exactly. And if they're good and if they care about your progress, they will help you try to find another way. Like for you, YouTube or Instagram is probably more your thing because you can do those kind of things sort of on the fly, right? Like your Instagram posts and whatnot, and you're off and doing all those things, showing people who you are and what you have to offer, all of that sort of thing so that people can come to you.
Yeah.
right? They can see who you are without having to have a lengthy DM conversation. I'm sort of half and half, right? Like I don't mind being at my computer and I don't mind chatting to people, but I am not a cold outreach person. Like I don't mind making friends. If I see that if we're in the same groups or we're in the same stuff and we've had some conversations, or, if I see that you're struggling and I think that I might be able to help, I will send off I'll send off a friend request. I'm not going to hit you right off the bat though with a, hey, buy my stuff. That's not going to happen. Like I'd be much more likely to just say, hi, how's it going? I see that you're doing this. Or, if I see somebody asking for help in a group or, just on their own page saying like, I'm trying to do this and it's just not working. I'm quite happy to share what knowledge I have to help people get where they need to go. Like I've got a few people that, we don't do business together, but I help them. I have 𝐿 experience. I'm actually certified with the 𝐿. So, if they're struggling with that, yeah, I can give you some pointers and I can do a quick little video to show you how to do what you need to do or to get something set up. I don't have a problem with that. If somebody says, hey, can you check my profile? Absolutely. I'm quite happy to do that for you because your success is my success, right? That to me, that's how I always see it. It's one of the things I loved about publishing was we, especially like the magazine that I was doing, we published a lot of first-time authors. And what I loved most was seeing them go on to win awards and big awards and go on to start writing novels and versus short stories and stuff like that. Now, I didn't have anything to do with them doing that, but I did give them that break, that moment where it said, yes, what you're doing has value. Yes, what you're doing is going to be loved by other people. Please keep going. So seeing that success, that gives me a sense of pride, knowing that I was able to help somebody just be one of the steps on their rung to their own successes. Right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's why you and I get along so well too, is like we do have a very similar mindset of like, we'll learn new stuff, but we're also know where our strengths lie. And it's like, if that's not it, that's not it. That's why, like, I hate when people are like, well, be coachable. I'm like, you're literally just saying to me, do things your way or don't do them at all. So, like, no, bye.
Yeah. And be coachable. What does that actually mean? Yes, I'm coachable. No, you mean be able to learn? Like, or, like, because I can learn, but not everything is right for everyone, right? Digital products are great for some. They're not good for others. Some people absolutely don't want to sell anything other than physical products. Good for you. Go and make that your business, right? Some people will swear that Etsy is the only way to do things. Other people will say Etsy is a freaking nightmare. Don't ever do that, right? Some people will say education. You got to go for this. You got to be high ticket or low ticket or recurring, or, you got to do Bitcoin or whatever it is, like everybody has their thing, and what works for one doesn't necessarily work for others. So your goal is to get as much knowledge and information and also know yourself, right? That's a big one.
Yeah.
Know yourself. If everybody thinks they can do it on their own at the beginning, absolutely everyone pretty much thinks that they can do it on their own at the beginning. And for some people, they know right away that that's not necessarily the case. And other people will struggle for a year or 2 years before they figure it out. Oh, we've got some comments here. What's this? Oh, yeah, no, okay. Oh, Facebook comments show up on StreamYard. I did not know that. Good for me.
Also, good morning, Kristen.
Yes. Sorry about that. No, I had the other one up on my phone, and I'm keeping an eye on that. I'm like, oh, well, it's showing up here. That's even better.
Oh, I can see them too.
Yeah. Yay, we learned something new today, folks. See?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what most people think they mean when they say be coachable, but like everyone that I've ever heard say it, I'm just like, cool, but you're not actually coaching me. You're telling me this is what you have to do. And with life insurance, it's the same thing. They're like, well, put this bait post out because we're hiring, because we're always hiring. And I'm like, you have to understand, like, I lead gen real estate and I talk about affiliate marketing. I'm not adding lead genning for life insurance in there. Do I think people need life insurance? Yeah, I think it's beneficial. But again, I'm not going to do the Facebook hustle to make money. And that's what a lot of them are pushing right now. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. Like, if anyone comes to me and needs life insurance, I can absolutely help them, but I'm not going to spam my page with, more stuff. Like, at the end of the day, it's still my Facebook page, and it still needs to reflect who I am, and that's what it's going to do. And like,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
stubborn, I'm hard-headed, I'm very independent, and I know this. And is it detrimental to some business opportunities? Probably. But again, I am my business. I'm not somebody else's business.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, people will resonate with who you are, right? People will see that and go, you know what? I get that. That works, that's sort of who I am, and that's what you want, right? When
Mhm.
people when they teach you to be authentic, they're not saying that you have to share your entire life story online. What they're saying is just be honest with who you are, and let that part of you shine. Like, I'm not, here's all my data. Here's who I am on a day-to-day basis. I've got a sarcastic sense of humor. I actually really do care about everybody in this world, to the point where I get people frustrated. I do see down the middle of the line again, which can make people very frustrated with me, because I don't believe in black and whites. I believe that the world is very much a nuance all the way through. So I don't know what's going on in your day to day. I don't know what happened to you last week. So I'm going to treat you with respect and kindness. And I expect the same. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to tease you, because that's also who I am. I had to teach my bonus boys here, because they had never grown up with sarcasm, and so it's taken them a couple of years to really get to know my joking style and my sarcasm. And now they'll say to me, if they're not sure, they'll just stop and they'll look at me and they're like, is that sarcasm? Yes, yes. Are you joking? Yes, yeah, yeah.
That's like living with Sheldon.
Yeah, sort of.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't know. Sarcasm is my second language, so.
Girl, same.
But anyway, so it's been great talking with you today. Thank you. We will be back again next Friday, 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And we'll figure out what we're going to talk about then. If you guys have
Yeah.
any questions, again, share your own big mistake, right? We love to see it. And, we can laugh together about our foibles and also our successes along the way. I will go and dig up that website that has all the spam, like how to sort of craft emails, not necessarily telling you how to craft emails, but what to avoid to keep you out of the spam box. All right. So I will dig that up and I'll post that up for you guys. And yeah, so have a great day, Rose.
You too.
Thank you so much.
Much
And
success.
all right. Happy Friday, people.